Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Syed Naqi Kazmi, Department of Political Science, GPGC Mansera. Today's my topic is features of the 1956 Constitution. So let's start. 1956 Constitution was more likely to 1935 Indian Act. It was a written constitution of 234 articles, 13 parts, and 6 schedules, and containing not only the fundamental principles of the constitution but also the administrative details was also present in the constitution. It also included the objective resolution as an agreement approved earlier to provide guidelines for drafting the constitution set as a preamble. So objective resolution was set as a preamble, which was a major development in the constitutional history of Pakistan in 1949. The Constitution of 1956 was a semi-rigid constitution and document because the method of amendment was not too difficult. So let's start its feature. Islam is a state religion. In 1956 Constitution, the name of the country was declared as the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, and it made Islam the state religion, forbidding the promulgation of any law against any injunction of the Islam. The objective resolution was set as the preamble of the Constitution, and it was made mandatory that only a Muslim could become president of the country. Good relation with Muslim countries became the main objective of the foreign policy. Steps were to be taken to enable the Muslims, individuals and collectively, to order their lives according to the teachings of the Sharia and Quran, and also implement Islamic moral standards in the country. There was also a feature of principle of parity, that an equality should be maintained between the two wings of the Pakistan, East and West Pakistan. The principle of parity was accommodated in the constitution. West Pakistan was treated as one unit, and seats were divided equally between the two wings of the country. The National Assembly was to meet at least twice a year, and at least one session should be held at Dhaka. So there was a principle of parity or equality. Federal state, defining the boundaries of the country, it adopted federation as a basic structure of the state with a unicameral legislature, and there were three lists of the sharing of powers between the center and the federating units: the federal list, the provincial list, and the concurrent list. The federal legislation was to take priority over the provincial legislation regarding the concurrent list. In the event of a conflict between the federal and provincial governments, or between the provincial governments, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court was empowered to act as a mediator. Two national languages. There was a conflict between both the wings of the country. So Urdu and Bengali were declared the state languages and national languages of the country. However, for the first 20 years, English was to continue as an official language, and after 10 years, the president was to appoint a commission to make recommendations for the replacement of English. Parliamentary form of the government. The parliamentary form of government was adopted. The president would be the head of the state while the prime minister was the head of the government. The president could appoint from among the members of the assembly a prime minister who had to take the vote of confidence from the house within 2 months. The prime minister had to inform the president about all the cabinet decisions. So he had to take the president in confidence. Principles of policy. The Constitution laid down certain directive principles of the state policy for the guidance of the government, serving as the ideas that the state should try to achieve. These included the fundamental rights and the independence of judiciary. The Supreme Court of Pakistan was granted the right to interpret the Constitution in case of any ambiguity. So, Supreme Court was empowered to interpret the Constitution in case of any ambiguity. Unicameral legislature. The Constitution established a unicameral legislature known as the National Assembly, and it was to consist of 300 members. The age limit for a candidate for a seat in the National Assembly was 25 years. Members of the Assembly were to be elected based on direct election conducted based on adult franchise. However, for the first 10 years, 5 additional seats were reserved for women in each wing. Every citizen who was more than 21 years of age was considered adult. Provincial structure. The provincial structure was similar to that of the center. There were 300 members in both provincial assemblies. 10 additional seats were reserved for women. Punjab was given 40% of the seats in the West Pakistan Assembly. 10 additional seats were reserved for women. Punjab was given 40% of the seats in the West Pakistan Assembly. So that was my topic of today, that the features of the 1956 Constitution. If you have any question, you may ask in comments. Thank you.